Hi guys, welcome to a new set of spoilers. Joe is out tonight, so I'm taking over for him, so hopefully you guys don't miss him too much. He's been doing great with the spoilers, but we had some green spoilers spoiled tonight, and these are the support ones that go with the starter deck ruler, so we're going to go over with those. Sorry for the reflection of my glasses, I just can't read these. Yeah, so first one is Leaf Knight. So this is a 2-cost 6/6 elemental, and you remove an elemental in your graveyard from the game, and if you do that, he will gain +2/+2 until end of turn, and you can do this twice per turn. He also has the ability, if you can remove an elemental from your graveyard from game, and he'll gain barrier until end of turn. So it's two different abilities. Obviously, you can use them both simultaneously, depending on what you want to do. The barrier one, you can use an unlimited amount of time. So in response to someone targeting him with a spell, you can, in response, give him barrier, and then in response, they can do something else, and in response, you can give him barrier again. So you can keep doing that over and over again without worry, and then you can buff him as well. And so yeah, it has potential for, only being a 2-cost. I think that's decent for an elemental deck. Next we have Leaf Archer, so he's a 4-cost 6/12 elemental, and he can block J resonators with flying. He himself does not have flying, he can just block them that have flying. And you can pay 2 green and tap him to do 600 damage to a resonator with flying. So that's not terrible for having a green deck, having a 2-cost 600 damage for a resonator potentially, and a 1200 blocker with flying. But the 4-cost is a little bit high, unless there's some sort of way that they're going to introduce to cheat in elementals to help with that. Because right now, a lot of these elementals you'll see is a little bit higher cost, so it'll be interesting to see. Next is probably one of the greatest cards we've ever seen. It's Leaf Healer, and as you can see from his face, it's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I love it so much. He's a 5-cost 0/1500 elemental, and at the end of your turn you recover all resonators you control. So this is pretty handy, especially for late game swinging in and then having blockers, or so, as someone pointed out, having the green dragon J ruler, so you can tap all your resonators to produce will, and then they untap in order to block and different things like that. So it's very much a late game thing. 5-cost, like I said, it's not the best for 5-cost in my opinion, but I could be wrong. Once again, I feel like there might be a way to help cheat these out besides the obvious things, but we'll see. Next we have Leaf Guard, so this is a 2-cost 4/8, just straight up elemental. So that's not bad, it's a pretty decent amount of defense for a 2-cost and an elemental, which you just need these for an elemental deck to put them in your graveyard, discard them, different things like that. So it might be a halfway decent card. Not the best, but yeah, I probably won't run him actually for 2-cost. Next we have a Ferryman, so this is a 1-cost 2/2, and when he enters the field you look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and if there's an elemental or spirit magic you get to put it in your hand and put the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order. So just your normal cycling through your deck to grab the cards you need, except this one happens to be a resonator as well, so it's essentially a draw card if your deck is running correctly. So that's pretty good, 1-cost draw card. And cycling through 3 cards is always good. Next is Windblade, so this is a 2-cost quick cast, and it's a chant that is also an elemental, and it deals 300 damage to target resonator plus an additional 100 for every wind magic stone you control. So as you can imagine, it's 2-cost if you're running a green deck, so at minimum it's doing 500 damage for 2-cost, which is pretty good for having a green deck. The 2-cost is a little bit high, but as you can imagine, that stacks up pretty quick. So if you have 5 stones, suddenly you're doing 800 damage to a resonator with quick cast and inside a green deck, and you could potentially just do a mono green deck. So that could be, I think, potentially pretty good. We have Absolute Awareness, so this is a 2-cost chant with spirit magic as well, and you get to search your magic stone deck for a basic magic stone, reveal it, and then put it into your field rested, and then you shuffle your magic stone deck. So it's just reintroducing some of the bringing stones out. We already have a lot of that in the way of Red Riding Hood and stuff like that, but this is the first thing that we'll see in Rhea Cluster, so it's good to sort of build that back up. So we'll always have this sort of cycling you hear the dogs running, this cycling of stones inside of Force of Will, regardless of what rotates, so that's always nice. And lastly, we have Spiritual Guidance, so this is 3-cost chant that's also spirit magic, and you get to draw 2 cards, then gain 100 life for each card in your hand. So this is actually, I think, pretty decent. So it's 3 costs, draw 2 cards. Usually you have a 1 cost, draw 1 card. So for 2 extra costs, not only do you draw an extra card, it's just the one with the normal 1 cost chance, but you also get to gain 100 life for every card in your hand after you draw those cards. So if you have 5 cards and you draw 2, you're drawing 2 cards and getting 700 life for a total of 3 costs. I think that's halfway decent. I'd probably run at least 2 of them maybe. It's good just to help cycle through your deck and to gain life. The downside is it doesn't have quick cast, so that might hurt a little bit, having to tap 3 stones without having that quick cast of doing it at the end of your opponent's turn or something before you untap. You have to dedicate stones before passing turn. So that hurts a little bit, but I think it could be halfway decent. But yeah, so what are you guys thinking how the green deck is shaping up? It's not as, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but it's not as like ground shattering as I felt Keurig and the Pandas were when the support was revealed for them, where I was like, oh man, these are going to be actually pretty good. Pandas are going to be good. Just watch, just wait. I made a deck. Just wait. But nothing really is standing out for me to make me go, I want to play a green deck now, but I could be wrong. I have trouble seeing some of that sometimes. We'll see. Maybe Oscar will see something I did in Orjo. But yeah, so make sure you guys subscribe for more as we go through the last of these spoilers, I think, coming up here. And we have some gameplay and deck profiles coming up. And like I said, we have a Panda deck coming up. I'll do deck profile as well as gameplay for that, so stay tuned.